Okay, episode 2 is here. Or if you guys have no clue what's going on with the story, because this episode will be continuing from the previous, you might want to go back and watch that. So for today's video, I'll be taking the Mimic and the Balloon Boy and turning them into super villains as a continuation from my last video. And with that, let's get started. The supervillain known as Balloon Boy has been a bit of an underdog during his short supervillain career. Compared to other villains he discussed, he's a bit new to the scene. Surprisingly though, we don't know much about Balloon Boy prior to his unique career choice. The guy wears a high-tech flight suit that allows him to fly to the tallest of skyscrapers and is equipped with quite the assortment of gadgets. Unlike many other villains in the city, he is mostly interested in the money in this questionable enterprise. Balloon Boy also has a strange and disturbing need to mess with people, especially people who are in power. Balloon Boy decided to put these two interests together to make himself rich. For a small fee of $100,000, he could keep the Phase 5 busy for anyone who could pay up. So, from that point forward, Balloon Boy became a reoccurrent nuisance to the Five, a dangerous one at that. Eventually, the Five got the memo that Balloon Boy was just a distraction from the bigger fish they desperately needed to fry. So the Five started coming up with ways to take Balloon Boy down temporarily and go after the real villain. Balloon Boy eventually got fed up with all this due to the fact he believed he was the real foe to the Five that should be treated with respect, and because his streak of failures were costing him money. Balloon Boy didn't know where to go, until Afton came into the picture. Afton told Balloon Boy he was a big fan of his work and would hire his services for a different kind of price. In exchange for joining his team, Afton would upgrade Balloon Boy's suit to something really worth the Phase 5's attention. Balloon Boy knew this was a deal he couldn't refuse. I'm in! The last member of Afton's team may have been the most elusive to track. The Mimic was even newer to the scene, only recently appearing about 9 months ago. Despite him being a newcomer, the Mimic has proven to both heroes and villains alike that he meant business. No one is quite sure who created the Mimic, but Afton at one point considered that a company known as Power Time might have made him. Unfortunately, evidence to support this is limited. In any case, when the Mimic first showed up on the scene, he was already going after the Phase 5. The Five hadn't even done anything to him. He just came at them for no apparent reason. It has become apparent, though, that the Mimic had the ability to absorb the personalities of people around him. It's theorized that the Mimic, for a long period of time, could have been around supervillains, which actually backs up the possibility that he was from Power Time. More on that another time. The Mimic had way more abilities than that, though. He could duplicate the appearance and abilities of any hero or villain he came across. He can only do this one at a time, though, so his powers are a bit limited. The Mimic has only fought the Phase 5 twice, each time holding his own. The first time, he probably would have won if allies of the Five hadn't come in and stopped him. The second time around, the Mimic almost won, but the Five were ready for him. They took him down themselves and forced him underground. He had been off the grid for months, until Afton found him. Afton knew that the Mimic would be an amazing member of the group if he joined. The Mimic also had his own thoughts on teaming up with Afton. It might bring him closer to his goal of destroying the Phase 5, but the Mimic wasn't really fond of working with a team. That's when Afton came in with a second offer. Afton was an engineer at heart, and he personally believed that he could alter the Mimic so that he would be able to use the powers of at least 2 heroes at a time. The Mimic was blown away by this. This was a game changer he couldn't refuse. So, the Mimic clasped Afton's hand and said, I'm in. After that, Afton only had one question for the Mimic. What can you tell me about Power Time? with that, we have our FNAF supervillains team. This has been great so far, and I'm excited for the next few episodes, which won't be this, but it will be something just as good. And for those who may or may not have catched something I said in the previous video, an original character of mine appeared in the last one, Mr. Memory. I'll put Mr. Memory in more stuff in later seasons, but yes, I'm using original characters in some of this. Mr. Memory is only the first. Will he be the last? Probably not. So keep that notification bell going and subscribe if you haven't to keep tabs on him, because you never know what he might be up to. So, see you tomorrow for the next video.